Hi there, welcome back to JD Answers. Today I have the VANTRUE N4 Pro dashcam. And today we're going to do the installation of this dashcam. I'm going to show you step by step how to install this dashcam into your vehicle. Alright, so the first step we need to do is figure out where we're going to put the dashcam. And according to the instructions and according to what I reviewed is you have to put it to the left side of the rear view mirror. But be careful, you don't want to install it and then you adjust your mirror and the camera is going to get in the way, the dash cam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install the top mount to the dash cam, and that way I get an accurate location for this. All right, so it's in there, went pretty smooth, and I'm not going to install it to the window shield. I just want to get exactly where I'm going to put this. All right, this is how it gets installed. So you got to figure out, if you put it here, well, your rear view mirror is going to touch it right here. You see that? And when it touches it, it's going to move it. So you could either go higher or go lower or to the left more. But as long as it doesn't get in the way you're driving. When I tried this, it wasn't in my way. All right, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to put it about right here, just to the left of it, where it's not in my way. And I don't want to see right here, it still touches. So I'm gonna move a little bit more and where it does it. So I'm gonna put it just right at the mount. I'm gonna put it right at the tint area and the lens will be underneath it. So let's get started with that. Then I got the wipe, and what I'm gonna do is open that up and get started by cleaning it. Ooh, and it does have a little odor, which is good because it means you know it's going to clean and disinfect that area and get it ready for the mount. All right, so I'm going to clean all this area here in case I need to move it around. And when you're wiping this, you could tell that it is on there. You can see the solution. I got the cloth that it came with, and it actually says VANTRUE on there, and so you can see that. So I'm going to go ahead and just use it to dry it up. Wow, what it is you can see some old adhesive from other dash cams on there. So I'm going to get the wipe and do it again, so you know that's really cleaning it. This stuff really works. I might wipe the whole window shield with this because it's taking off all the dirt and all the old haze from my window shield. So this is actually pretty nice. All right, next we got this static guard. I don't use it all the time, but for installation purposes, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now it says peel off mask before application. So this one's going to go first. And this one says after application, so the mount's going to be on this side. So let's take that off, which came out pretty easy, and that way I could use this tab here to hold it. All right, and you pretty much want to mount it exactly where you're going to mount the dash cam there, the mount for it. So I know I said I was going to go up, there's a little hair in there. All right, I say about right here it's going to go. And of course there's gonna be bubbles. Just go up and down till you get the bubbles out, but remember you got to take the other side off, so it should be less. There it goes. I got them both out, but I guess I should have taken the bubbles out first. All right, so after you get your bubbles out, you could go ahead and do it, or you want to leave them on there. I'm going to leave them on there because I do multiple installations. So, all right, so let me get started now. All right, next is your dash cam. Ready to install that. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this cover here for the adhesive so I can mount it onto the static guard right here. All right, we're ready to install the dash cam. I took out the adhesive. Make sure you take off the protective cover. And I took the back cover off already. So now we're ready to install it. And this part here, you can move up and down. So just pretty much move where you think. You could always move it around after you install the dash cam. All right. So I'm gonna hold my camera here with one hand. I know my hand's gonna shake. And I'm gonna move my mirror around to make sure I don't hit. All right. So I think I'm gonna go about right there. All right. So I think I'm good. I'm just gonna press up against there, real firm. There it goes. It's ready now. Now we could start the cable installation. Now this one here on the top where the mount is, That's the power cable. This one here is for the rear cable, and it actually says rear on there. Now both cables are going to be routed towards the passenger side door, so we're going to route both cables that way. And I'm going to start with the power cable. And what you want to do is get your cable and unwind it all together. Make sure it's loose, because once you install this, and if you have it combined together like all bunched up, it's going to pull everything down. So just keep it loose. I got the power cable here, and I'm going to loop it up like this onto the mount. All right, there it goes. Got that one in. I'm going to leave it loose. All right, for the rear cable, I also unwind the whole cable, make sure it was not bunched up together, and it's loose. So now I'm going to go ahead and put that into the rear camera slot. Okay, next I'm going to get the rear cable. I'm going to work that one first to the passenger side, and then I'll get the power cable. And the reason is because the rear cable is thicker. All right, so what you want to do is just go straight up. That's all you're going to do is go straight up. And between the window and the headliner, there's a 1/4 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch space underneath there. If not, you could just simply put your fingers underneath and push down a little bit, and there'll be space in there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go straight up with the rear cable and just push it in there. And I'll get you a closer look how that looks in there. Okay, so that's the first cable. But you see how easy that was? That's exactly what's going to happen. Now you could go straight up from here, or you could kind of move it to the side with this rear cable and go up with it there. And then just go straight up in there. And then what you could do is get some Velcro ties or some zip ties and zip tie together this thing here and just combine it together. All right, so now we're going to continue with the wiring, and see where the wires are right there. They're in the middle, right where the rear view mirror is at, right there. And now we're going to go towards the passenger side. Let me show you a close-up of how the wires look when they're getting installed into the headliner. Let me show you how it looks under the headliner. And with one hand, the wire is being held, and with the other hand, I'm simply going to go from one side and simply just push it in there like that. That's exactly what I'm doing. That's how easy it is. So I got the rear cable, and again, I'm just simply going to push it all the way inside the headliner. When I get to this corner, what I want to do now is utilize this A-pillar to hold the wire. And the way I do that is I'm going to pull the weather strip off. Just get a good grip and pull down. You see that? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it all the way to the side here. And then what you do is grab the wire with your right hand, and the A-pillar uses separation to hold the wire right there. And that way you could continue with your process. So again, I'm going to do the same thing with the power cable. I'm going to push it in there, all the way in there. And then again, use that to hold the wire so I could continue my work on this side. So now what we could do is go ahead and push the wires between the A-pillar and the headliner. And we'll start with the wire with the rear camera. And you could just push it in with your hand, or use the pry bar that it came with. And what I'm going to do is push that in more. That looks like the cloth was coming out. And I'm just going to roll it right down there. And you see how there is slack? So you could do it two ways. You could run the slack back that way, or pull the wire on this side by holding the A-pillar and pulling it back in. And then you could go back and push it in there. And the wire that's still in here is kind of still out. Grab your hand, pull this down, and then you could push the wire in with the other hand. And it's in. Now let's repeat the process. Everything's hidden now. We're all good. So now we could go ahead and start on the outside. All right, we're going to start with this rear wire, which is the thicker one. And that one's going to the rear of the car. So what I do is I'm going to get it, and you could probably see a little bit here between the frame and the headliner. There is about a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch space. And all you got to do is just simply put the wire behind there. And that's all you're going to do. And we're just going to continue moving the wire against the A pillar now. All right, we're going to continue running the wire to the A pillar. But I'm not really worried about this one right now. Let's go ahead and continue with the rear wire. And then we'll get back on this power cable. All right, so with this here, I'm going to keep on running the wire inside the vehicle. And on here, you can see that there is a separation right here. And again, I'm going to pinch the wire in there because it's really going to go that way. So now this wire is holding. So this is good. And what we're going to do now is finish the power cable. And the reason we're doing this is once we finish the power cable to the kick plate, we could go ahead and put the weather strip back. All right, so I'm going to continue moving the weather strip down. So what we're going to do is I'm going to continue again running the wire like we did earlier from the headliner, for the A pillar, going down to the side of the dashboard, pinch it in there. See where it's pinched in right there? That's where we're going to do it. So now what we could do is move this weather strip back. And you see right here, there's indentation there. That goes on in the frame. And you just push that back. And then we go to the top. And we put the weather strip back from there. And fix this side, the corner. I always like to do the corners last. And that's the way it looks. You don't see any wire in there. It's a clean installation. Okay, so now we're at the kick plate, and what we're going to do is we're going to continue running the wire inside the kick plate. So the kick plate's right here, the wire's inside. So all we got to do is go around the carpet. Some go underneath here, the dashboard. I don't recommend that. That's up to you if we need more wire. But I don't, so I'm just going to continue going behind the carpet. This is actually a cleaner install because the wires that fall from underneath the dashboard, if you do that, they do fall a lot. All right, so what I'm going to do from this point, just keep on going to the end of the carpet. Okay, so now I'm here. I'm at the kick plate, all right? So what I'm going to do now is this is the kick plate towards the center of the console, the center console. I'm going to go ahead and plug in this, and that way if I have any wires, any slack wires, it will be right here, all the slack. So let's go ahead and plug this in. All right, now normally cars, their power socket is somewhere here, the center console, somewhere there, like right here in the bottom. Mine's is all the way back here, this device tray. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just plug it in there. All right, see, that's where it gets plugged. And I like that it has this extra A USB socket. And that way I could plug in my cell phone if I need it or whatever device I have. All right, so now let's continue running the wire. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this kick plate. Some vehicles can do that, some can't. If not, just route the wires right on top. And you see these wires? If I unplug this over here, I could actually just put it right in between, and this is actually going to hold the wire from, going down. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to push up the wire, and I'm going to push back the kick plate, and just snap it right back in. Again, if your car can't do this, just route it right on top and push it behind the kick plate here, the center console there. Now, I actually have one of these sockets where if it was a USB, I could plug it in right there. Okay, now we're at the B pillar and we're still working our way to the rear window. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull off this here, the weather strip. Pull that down, just get a good grip and pull down. All right, and we're going to go this way. So all I'm going to do is just get this wire wrapped around the B pillar. I'm going to pinch it in like we always do at the side, and then just push it in with your finger and pull it back right here. See how I pulled it back? And right there. And you notice all the wires are always on top of the pillars. The A pillar, the B pillar, C-pillar in the back, because the airbag pops out this way and the wire will be on top. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install the camera before we route the wire from the B pillar to the C pillar, because this area here is where we're going to put all the slack of the wire, the remaining wire. I took off the adhesive and I already cleaned the window, but you need to look at your window shield to see exactly where the defrost lines go, because you don't want to put the lens in front of a line for the defroster. So I have an opening right here, and that's where I'm going to put the lens going straight out. Now, my rear window tint needs to be replaced. There's a bubble here that I need to get rid of. So the whole window, the back window, needs to be replaced, but right now I'm going to go in and use it, and you can see exactly how it looks. All right, now that I know the placement, I'm going to go ahead and get the dash cam, and I'm going to position the lens where I want to, not the mount, the actual lens where you want to put it. And I want the lens in between here. I'm going to use this black strip as a guide to help me put it straight on there. And all you got to do is just push up, and it'll get right in there from there. Push up. And remember, you could always adjust this lens here. This lens goes 360 degrees. So if you ever want to see inside, just move that lens forward. If something's going on, just push it into the front and you can see everything in there. All right, so I'm going to push it back to the outside, and now we're ready to continue routing the wire to the C pillar. And again, we're going to do the same thing we did to the front. It's the same motion, just put it right inside the headliner, and we're going to continue going right behind me there to there. All right, so we're going to continue going. Now here you see that separation from the the C pillar to the headliner. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this outside again to pinch our wire in to hold it for us. All right, it's the same thing we did in the front. So now we could go ahead, actually I need a little bit more slack than that. There it goes. Okay, so now I'm going to just push the wire in with my finger, and this one actually goes a little bit smoother. Pick that up and push it behind. There you go. Now the slack I can actually put in here, this little portion I have here, and you just got to work it, and you see how I'm just going to fold this wire and it'll go in like that. All right, so this is all done, and now we got to do is work our way to the middle. All right, I have the wire here from the C pillar, and I have the wire from the B pillar. Now, there's going to be a lot of slack, so if you have a pickup truck, an SUV, you're going to have more than enough wire to get that job done. All right, so I'm going to put it here. You see how I'm putting the wire? Then I'm going to push this back in here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to fold this wire, and then we could just go ahead and shove that in there, and we could put all the slack right inside there. All right, so the wire is in there, and all we got to do now is go ahead and push in the weather strip. Now we're done with the front power cable. We're done with the rear cable. Now we got to do is power up the vehicle, because we need to see if the rear camera is facing the correct way. What I mean is it right side up the image, or is it upside down? And if it's upside down, I can show you exactly how to fix that. Okay, now we're ready to power it up. So let me go ahead and start the vehicle. All right, there it goes. It's on. So far we know the power cable works. All right, and this is actually the front of the vehicle, and you could always adjust it, but right now I have the camera facing like this, so that way my camera that's filming could film this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch displays, and the way it is the second button from the left, 1, 2, you press that one and you switch camera scenes, and you see now the inside cabin is the main picture. Push it again, and the rear camera is the main picture. But you notice that it's upside down. This is what I was talking about earlier. So let me go ahead and stop the recording. You see that red dot there's blinking. So I'm going to press the left button, the far left button one time, and it stopped recording. So now with the far right, I'm going to press that button, and we're going to go to record setup. We're going to hit OK, which is the far left button. And then what we're going to do is we're going to arrow down all the way to, I think it's reverse. Let's see. Oh, rotate display. That's what it is. All right, so we're going to hit OK. And here it says front and cabin. We don't want that one. The one we want is rear. So we're going to arrow down. And you notice it's not check mark over here. So we're going to hit OK. And now you see the check mark. We're going to back out of there. One more time. And one more time. And the red dot should start. But you notice the picture is right side up. So that's how you fix that issue if you have that. And to rotate the displays again, the second button from the left. There you go. Now we know the power cable works because it's on, and we know the rear camera works because you see it right there. All right, so this video was helpful for you. Please give me that thumbs up. You know I appreciate that for you, and it really helps the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, select all notifications for all upcoming videos, because I also have the menu review. So if you want a step-by-step on how I just did this and all the other functions, I have the unboxing of this dash cam. I have how to use the app for this dash cam. And if you're interested in this product, I'll put links in the description down below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.